What is it actually like to attend Formula 1 pre-season testing in Bahrain? Join me for the week as I experience the grandstand views, some mind-blowing access, and find myself in situations that my younger self could only have dreamed of. On the same course as Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris. Hello from my sofa and welcome to the very first proper full-time Formula YouTube video. If you're new to full-time Formula, last year I attended every single Formula 1 race whilst working full-time and doing it on a budget. I was posting videos, short-form videos on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and now in 2026 I have been gifted the world's first ever F1 season ticket by Heineken. So I'll be attending all 24 races again. I've left my job, so I'm going to be making long-form content as well as short-form content. So we're in for a pretty incredible season, to be honest. But before all of the excitement of them 24 races, we've got Bahrain pre-season testing coming up this week. It's Monday the 9th of February right now, and I'm about to head to Heathrow to fly to Bahrain for the week, thanks to Bahrain International Circuit, who are flying me out. They've set me up with a pretty incredible itinerary for this week, and I've also got some mind-blowing flights and accommodation booked. So let's head to Heathrow. Welcome to Heathrow and welcome to the Gulf Air Business Lounge, because today we're flying business class after all of the budget flights that I did last year. I've never actually flown business class long haul before, so I'm very excited for this. But first things first, and that was to grab some free food. The sriracha wings were right up my street and I enjoyed them with a ginger beer before heading to my gate. Our flight ended up being slightly delayed, and I think it meant we were the final flight out of Heathrow Terminal 4 that night, as stores and duty free shut up shop before we then boarded the plane. I didn't know what to do with myself having this much space on a flight, so stretched the legs and browsed the movie selection. Almost instantly came across the F1 movie, which is very appropriate for this trip, channeling my excitement through my thumb. I then watched a little bit before turning my seat into a bed, which is a wild experience, and then calling it a night. Tuesday began at Bahrain International Airport before getting shown to a car to head to my hotel. This 7 Series was extremely comfy and fancy, almost as fancy as the hotel that I couldn't believe I would be staying at. So here we are, arrived at the Ritz Carlton. It's ridiculous to say. And have a look at this room, absolutely unreal. Also, when I was checking in, hello over there, when I was checking in, Isaac Hadjar was checking in front of me. It's ridiculous. And I've already just seen this as well. They've set up this amazing little cake thing, photo. Oh my word. This isn't very full-time Formula, is it? And then through here, we've got the bathroom as well. So, I mean, I think this tops the 2 or 3 star hotel I stayed in last year in Bahrain. Well, whilst I'm taking in how ridiculously incredible this room is and this whole hotel is, I'll tell you about what I've got planned for this week. So currently it's Tuesday morning. Today, most of the day I can just relax and check out some of the facilities here. So let's go and check out the spa and the pool in a minute. And then this evening, heading to the circuit for the launch event of the Bahrain Grand Prix this year. And then we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at pre-season testing. Saturday, seeing some cultural sites around Bahrain. And then Sunday, playing golf in the Bahrain International Circuit annual tournament that they put on for all of the teams and all of the F1 personnel. So pretty crazy that I've been invited to take part in that. And that's why you would have seen some golf clubs in this room as well, because I brought my golf clubs with me. So I'm going to take you along each day. And yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty fun week, to be honest. Not much else to say. But for the time being, I'm going to get unpacked. And then we're going to have a look around this incredibly nice hotel. This is pretty incredible scenery. I can see why this hotel is so expensive. You can just carry on walking. I assume these buildings here are villas that you can rent from the Ritz Carlton. which are, well, that was really dreadful zoom in from me, wasn't it? I imagine they are quite pricey, but they look fantastic. This trip is just going to be a week of pinching myself, isn't it? Just walking on the beach at the Ritz Carlton in Bahrain at the moment. Tomorrow, going to pre-season testing for 3 days. I'm playing golf at one of the best golf courses in the Middle East on Sunday. This is pretty special. I've got to remember to soak all this in because I realise how lucky I am to be here doing this. Amazing. So we've made it round the beach and now to the view of the sea. Wow, what a lovely place. And I think this looks like a turret or a castle. Let's go inside because I'm pretty sure I can walk up it. And there we are, up the steps, a chair even waiting for me, and the view over the sea, and then the hotel in the background with the beach that we've just walked down. Now a quick fast forward to the evening. Hey, we're off to the launch event. So it was back into the car, and for the first time this week to the Bahrain International Circuit. The event was being hosted by Crofty, and there were both previous generation and current generation show cars on display, which was cool to see them side by side. And it was awesome to see Andrea Stella appear on stage for a discussion about all things 2026. Following the event, I was very kindly invited to dinner and drinks with some circuit and F1 personnel, as well as Crofty. I put the camera away for the evening, but here's a clip of me returning to my room much later and many gin and tonics deeper. Hello from Wednesday in Bahrain, and the first day that we're seeing F1 cars on track at this test. And this is meant to be an F1 video, so we're finally going to have some F1 content today. So let's head to the circuit. Well, welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit, and I can hear cars on track for the first time in 2026, which is so exciting. I can just about see a glimpse of them as well, but anyway, let's head into the paddock. And then I'm sure we'll have plenty of views of the cars throughout the rest of the day. This is so exciting. First sightings in the paddock were Kimi Antonelli doing a backpack photo shoot and Liam Lawson throwing a rugby ball around. I then headed back out of the paddock and under the circuit, which leads to the main grandstand and the main fan zone area. It's now lunchtime on the Wednesday of the first test here in Bahrain, and I've come to sit down in a little shaded area, and there's just no one else here. I think I'm in the zone where Thursday and Friday they're going to open up to the public, but Wednesday is a closed session that's only available to media and to teams. So I think this is why it's empty, but I'll do a bit of videoception. So here's my view, and there is there's no one but security guards around really. And this is the whole area that gets built up for the Grand Prix as well. So last year when I was here, all of this has stands and pop-ups and all sorts of things going on. The F1 stores are all here, some food stalls over there already. So yeah, come April this will be absolutely full. But right now, it's just a few nice seated areas. There's a really nice breeze at the moment actually. And yeah, I'm just chilling at lunch. I think after this we'll go for a little wander, see what else we can find, and the cars are back on track in about 40 minutes. This place will all be full of stuff come April. I don't think the skip will be here either. It's quite strange being in a grandstand that is completely empty. I mean, very cool though to have this sort of access. Absolutely amazing. I'm not alone, there are some workers. I did go for a sit down in the grandstand, but with it still being lunch, there were no cars on track, and all the garages were covered by the fences we're so used to seeing at pre-season testing. So last year when I came to Bahrain, I was sat in the university grandstand, which is just after turn 1, and I actually ranked it as my top value for money ticket of 2025 because, I can't remember exactly, I think it was £130 for a 3-day ticket, but the view was fantastic, right of turn 1 and up down towards turn 4. And for a 3-day grandstand ticket, that's just incredible. Most general admission tickets cost more than that at most Grand Prix. So that's why it won my sort of value for money award last year. I'm going to go and see if we can head down there now. I'm not sure if we can, because a lot of the circuit is closed for pre-season testing, but give it a go. It's not looking promising. So we've got the Bahrain Circuit merchandise shop over there, which was really busy last year. And then down over to the left is the pedestrian tunnel to Turn 1 grandstand, which you walk past, and then down to the university grandstand, which is pretty much on Turn 2. But there are fences the whole way across. There is a gap over there, but then there's more fences for the tunnel. So we're not going down there today, but that is the way if you do come to the Bahrain Grand Prix. So let's head back into the paddock. And once into the paddock, spotted a certain 7-time world champion walking down towards us and into the media pen for questions with the broadcasters. Well, the afternoon session is well underway, and I'm just sort of camped out, chilling in the paddock. It's a pretty nice place to be, and listening to the cars. I've got a screen in front of me as well, so I can see what's going on. So I've got the media pen to my left, and at the moment Toto Wolff is over there, and then to my right it's essentially the rest of the paddock. Let me flip it around, I'll show you what's going on. So there's my view, screen just there, and then we've got the media pen with Toto, and then the rest of the paddock. I'm just sitting by the F1 hospitality area. So after watching the world go by, I made my way to check out one of the smaller grandstands near Turn 10, then back over to the main grandstand to watch the final hour of Wednesday track time and give my thoughts on the new power units. I think the sound is actually better than 2025. The new engines, I personally think, are a little bit louder. Tone-wise, it sounds pretty similar to what I did last year. Not quite V10s, but it's not bad. Now, I am the only person in this grandstand today, but I expect to be joined by many more fans tomorrow and on Friday. Wednesday is meant to be just media and teams, so I've been very lucky to be invited to today as well. And then Thursday and Friday, both days have fans allowed in, so I assume that this grandstand will be much more full tomorrow and on Friday. Goodbye, empty grandstand. So just a bit further back from the main grandstand is this area, which is now set up for fans for Thursday and Friday. Got the seating area, the big Bahrain logo over there, tower in the background. And behind me, a quick preview of the food that is going to be available at pre-season testing for fans to buy this week. So down the far end, got a little Domino's. What is that price from here? That is $16 for a margarita or for a pepperoni, or for any of them actually. They're all $16. What's that, about £11 maybe? Petal and bean, flowers and coffee. We've got Subway. How much is a Subway? I can't read that from back here. Let's go and have a look. Loaded BMT footlong, $13. Actually no, again they're all $13. And then we've got Shake Shack, Cine Cafe, is that Lebanese, and then a supermarket down the end. Burgers between $16 and $20, and then wandering down to supermarket. Water for $1.50, that's about £1. Got chocolate available, chewing gum, okay. And then Lebanese here on the left, which looks much cheaper than the chain restaurants, which I guess you would expect as well. After testing finished for the day, I was then invited to go go-karting with some friends at F1 around Bahrain's epic karting track, which actually hosted the Rotax Challenge Grand Finals last year. We had 15 minutes to set our fastest lap, and I ended up in P2. Also, this is probably a good time to actually introduce who I am for those who don't know me, because surprisingly, my legal name isn't Full-Time Formula, it's actually Brandon. I'm seriously sweaty after that. That is a workout, but it's so much fun. This track is epic, and the kart's so good as well, so direct. Man, that's an awesome track. Almost P1, almost, so close, 300s. Welcome to day 2 at the Bahrain International Circuit, and today is Thursday, which means fans are allowed in, and it also means that hospitality is open, which I've very kindly been invited to. So we'll go and check that out shortly. But for now, just a quick wander, once again, through the paddock. It never gets old. And now welcome to the hospitality lounge at pre-season testing. Out of the left-hand side is a view of the paddock, and there's Toto once again. Then out of the other side of the suite is a fantastic view over the pit lane and main straight. In addition to the suite, a pit lane walk is also included in the hospitality ticket during lunchtime of the test. We ended up reaching the other end of the pit lane in perfect timing for the safety car to suddenly creep out of its garage. Walking back down to the pit exit now after walking up to the pit entry, and I'm genuinely surprised at how many teams have the covers off of their garage. I thought we'd walk on and just see loads of covers in front of every garage, but we can actually see a fair bit. This is honestly so relaxed, so chilled, and so dissimilar to a normal F1 weekend, which is just bam, bam, bam. I did expect pre-season testing would be pretty different to attending a Grand Prix, but this really is completely different. And after a pit exit selfie, it was time for some food. There was a massive variety in hospitality, but I do love Mexican food, so went for a couple of these tacos, which were very enjoyable. We also had some interesting chats on stage with the likes of Graham Loudon from Cadillac and Andrea De Zordo from Haas, before I once again headed to the main grandstand after the sun had set. So this is my view at the moment to head to at pre-season testing. They're definitely louder, 100%, and I'm actually really surprised by the reliability. There's been a few breakdowns here and there, but I expected so many more breakdowns at this test. But teams have been putting in the laps, and it seems to be going really well for most of them. So still tough to work out who's on top. Quite a few people have turned up to come and see these new cars. Cheap tickets, so I think if you wanted a standard ticket, it was 10 BHD, which is £20. And if you're in Bahrain, 20 quid to come watch this is absolutely no-brainer in my eyes. And here we are, the final day of testing, or well, the final day of the first week of testing. Now I know I showed you the fan zone area and particularly the closed food area on Wednesday, but let me give you a quick tour now that it's all open and now that fans are actually here. So on the right hand side here, behind the main grandstand, plenty of seating areas for people to enjoy the sunshine, the shade, or some food. And then here are all the food options that I showed you the other day. A nice little hammock and chill area, and then a massive hashtag Bahrain GP sign for people to take photos with. To the left of that, there's some music playing, because this area, which is cordoned off, is the Heineken bar area. And because of Bahrain being a Muslim country, this is a specific area where you can drink alcohol, but you can't take alcohol outside of this area. So we've made our way past another seating area, and here we are by the big F1 sign and by the 2026 show car. The new front wing honestly looks so good. And to be honest, I've got to say, on track from a distance, the cars do look pretty similar. But when you get up close, you really notice the differences, particularly the rear wing, front wing. And then further over here, there's a room with racing simulators inside. Looks like a small queue as well. And then finally, on the left, the Bahrain International Circuit merchandise shop, which has circuit-specific merch, and it also has team merch. This area, which is completely empty at the moment, will be full of loads of fun stuff, stores, food, come April. For pre-season testing, the grandstand is completely free roam, so it's a great chance to have a look at different views, especially if you want to attend the actual Grand Prix here in Bahrain. Time to teleport back to hospitality, where Aston Martin now have their own corner today, and I stocked my stomach on some more food. Bit more of a mishmash today, but still very enjoyable. I finished my food in the hospitality, and I've now walked back through the paddock to my favourite spot to sit in the paddock, in the shade. A great seat for people watching, more specifically driver spotting, and one of my favourite people to bump into in the paddock meant business today. Hello Ted, you want to be in the vlog? On the move again, as we're now heading to the Oasis complex, which is a different view of the circuit that's also available with the hospitality ticket here today. and we've got an Aston Martin at the exit. Anyway, here's my transport to get over to the Oasis complex. Thank you. Do I put it shut or? Thank you. I was pulling the automatic door. No clues. Thanks so much. Thank you. So it turns out I'm the only person here. Got the place to myself. Well, this is a great view of the track. I think that's turn 10 down there. And then, as you come up, the fence disappears. So you get a close-up of the cars going past here, not just the media shuttle bus. I mean, it is very cool being in the middle of the circuit, because you've got the circuit just here, where cars go past, and then turn, and you've got the view I just showed you. Now, I've just got the shuttle bus back to the hospitality area, and now I'm walking around to the Oasis Complex grandstand, which was just opposite where I was in that sort of middle area of the track. So I think we can get into this grandstand as well. It looks quite empty, but let's give it a go, I guess. And here we are. We can get in the grandstand. Let's go and have a look. So I came in just over here on this grandstand. I've walked down, and this is now the view. So that red carpet is where I was a second ago. Then I got the shuttle back from there. You can see the circuit in the background, and then you can also see all the way down this straight. And in between us and the track, you've got this drag strip as well, where Bahrain hosts drag events all the way down to the end as well. Pretty good grandstand, to be honest. You can see so many different parts of the circuit, at least from a distance, and then you've got some closer as well. And you can see, I think that's turn 10, but it's the corner that's off camber where people often lock up or go wide. Another spot to just sit and watch F1 cars drive around all day. Yeah, not bad. I left my full-time job last week for this season to give content creation a go and make the most of the Heineken season ticket this year. Probably the best ever first week of unemployment I could have wished for. Coming here and experiencing this. Yeah. As an F1 nerd, as a massive F1 fan, this is just awesome. Now, it was at this point I realised I'd lost my case for my new camera, so I went back onto the bus to search for it, and then the bus ended up leaving with me on it. So I'm now unexpectedly back at the Oasis Terrace, looking for my case for this camera, and I have no idea where it is. It wasn't on that bus. It's not here. It's on another bus somewhere, isn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not the worst place to come back to, is it? Although one thing I didn't realise when I was here before is after the toilets, you can walk down here and get an even closer view of the circuit and the cars going past. Maybe it's a good thing I lost my case. Well, so I found it, but this is an epic little walkway down here. Wow. I then returned on another bus once again. It wasn't on that bus either. Oh dear. Now, to get over the tragic loss of my case, I watched Pedro de la Rosa have a chat on the hospitality stage, ate a couple of Wagyu sliders, and went for a wander to round off an epic 3 days at the track. Welcome to Saturday in Bahrain. I don't have too many plans for today, but I thought I'd go and show you what breakfast is like at this hotel, because I don't think I've shown that yet. And then we'll see where the rest of the day takes us. The breakfast at this hotel really did hit the spot. They had pretty much anything you could want. I made a beeline for the beans and the hash browns every day because that is such a legendary combo. Feel free to roast me in the comments for this plate. After a healthy breakfast dessert, I found the resident flamingos having a Barney and went off to edit some of this video. Probably the nicest setting I've ever edited a video in. Not too much else to film from today other than this very tasty short rib sandwich. Good job, as it was £26. And I finished the day at the Bahrain Rugby Club to watch Scotland versus England. The less said about that, the better. But the more said about Sunday, the better. I was invited to take part in the Bahrain International Circuit's annual golf day, and my word, what an experience.
One tee shot shall be selected.
The Royal Golf Club is such a stunning place. The DP World Tour played on this course just a few weeks ago, and honestly you can tell it's so nice. What a day this is, honestly. This is the best course I've ever played by far. Absolutely stunning. Living the dream, honestly. I'm so fortunate to be here doing this. On the same course as Charles Leclerc and Ed Norris, Carlton and Alex Albon, who will be playing in this tournament. Pretty nuts. The course is out next to a live oil refinery, so we'd be driving past pipes and seeing some pretty unique golfing sights. I didn't film too much during the day, particularly of the drivers, as I didn't want to invade people's privacy on what was everyone's day off to play some golf in between the two Formula 1 tests. But my word, what a day it was. Now my time in Bahrain may well be over, but the fun isn't over yet because we're now flying back to London in business class again. But this flight is during the day, so I'll actually get to enjoy all of the business class niceties, which is very exciting. And let's also see what the Gulf Air Lounge is like, because I imagine it's a bit nicer on the Bahrain side than it was on the London side. After saying goodbye to my room, it was onwards to the airport and straight to the lounge after security. A good choice available for breakfast, but I of course went for my favourite combo and then had an explore of the pretty big Gulf Air Falcon Lounge. I did find the best part down the end, a pool table. There was also this media area where you could tune in to your choice of 6 TVs, which seemed like a nice place to relax. Time to board, so made my way to the plane and managed to get a window seat for this flight, which means you have this nice little cocooned area that still has aisle access. Definitely the most private seat option when compared to the aisle. This was the menu for lunch. I went for the beef tenderloin, which was okay, then spent most of the flight editing and enjoyed some stunning views of London before we came into land. Spotted pretty much every landmark there was to spot, and a fair few London stadiums too. And here we are, back on my sofa where I started this video 1 week ago, and what an incredible week it has been. I cannot thank Lawrence and team from the Bahrain International Circuit enough. Firstly, just for inviting me out there, but secondly, for the amazing experiences I've had over the past week. And also, a big thank you to you for watching this video. This is my first ever proper long-form YouTube video, so hopefully they will only improve from here. But I'd love to hear your feedback, good or bad. If you did enjoy, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and to check out the short form videos that I've posted from Bahrain pre-season testing. There will be a full YouTube video from every single F1 race this year, focusing on the true fan experience, and there'll also be a few of the fancier bits of F1 and travel content from the countries that F1 race in. So I will see you in Australia on the next lap.